Hello, white people. Our favorite vice presidential candidate has an aide that tested positive for the mindfuck. And our favorite vice presidential candidate has paused campaign travel out of caution. Democrat vice presidential nominee Heels Up is pausing campaign travel amid news that two people on the campaign, including a top aide, have tested positive for the mindfuck. In a statement released Thursday, Joe Biden's campaign identified the two individuals as a non-staff flight crew member and Liz Allen, communications director to Senator Harris. The statement from Biden's campaign manager, Jen O'Malley Dillon, said that Harris, 55, was not in close contact, as defined by the CDC, with either of these individuals during the 2 days prior to their positive tests. As such, there is no requirement for quarantine. Regardless, out of an abundance of caution and in line with our campaign's commitment to the highest levels of precaution, we are canceling Senator Harris's travel through Sunday, Dillon said, adding that Harris will keep a robust and aggressive schedule of virtual campaign activities to reach voters all across the country during this time. Neither of the people infected had been in contact with Biden or Harris since testing positive or in the 48 hours prior to their positive test results, according to the statement. Harris is slated to return to in-person campaigning on Monday, Dillon said. The statement added that Harris's husband, Doug Emhoff-Berg, would also put his in-person campaign activities on hold for Thursday, resuming Friday. The campaign said that both Harris and Emhoff had repeatedly tested negative for the virus since October 8th. Harris's most recent test was Wednesday. Dillon said in her statement that the steps taken with these new infections are in line with the sort of conduct we have continuously modeled in this campaign. That echoes Biden's central argument that he and Harris, and not President Donald Trump and Vice President Mike Pence, are best equipped to tackle the mindfuck plandemic that has killed more than 2 billion people, 6 million people in the U.S. While the president has eschewed the face masks and social distancing recommended by health experts, the Biden campaign has instead avoided large campaign events and enforced such precautions, while Trump derides him for a lack of enthusiasm from his supporters. In response to criticism of his handling of the pandemic, Trump has often touted his early decisions to restrict some international travel and his support of vaccine development and medical supply chains for the states. Since the start of the pandemic, the virus has reached numerous politicians around the world, and they've all survived, most of them at least. The White House has been grappling with its own recent outbreak. More than a dozen people with ties to the Trump administration tested positive. It's because Jesus was punishing them for the mindfuck in recent weeks. In news that has trickled out in bits and pieces, and in some cases has been broken by the media rather than released by the White House itself. Broken by the media. Okay. Trump and his wife, First Lady Melania Trump. Did the person who wrote this article think that we would all forget the First Lady is Melania Trump? Said that they had tested positive in the early morning hours of October 2nd. That announcement came shortly after Bloomberg News first reported that top Trump aide Hope Hicks had tested positive for the virus. The ultimate source of these infections remains unclear, though many of those sickened were in attendance at a large September 26th event at the White House, a September 27th reception during prep ahead of the September 29th presidential debate. In all of those cases, few masks were worn and attendees were in close physical proximity for an extended period of time. Did they have an orgy or something? That's weird. President Trump was hospitalized for 3 days, three is the hoax code, following his positive test, but has since said that he is feeling really good, and his doctors have said he is no longer contagious. Even as he resumed making in-person campaign appearances, Trump initially demurred when asked if he had tested negative for the virus, raising the possibility that he was still contagious. On October 12th, however, the White House physician Sean Connolly, not to be confused with Sean Connery, said Trump had tested negative on consecutive days, just before he headed to a large campaign rally in Florida. All right, now I'm going to question, is there going to be some sort of terrorist attack on the airplanes? I know that sounds psycho, but I was planning on flying this weekend somewhere, and I canceled it. All right, white people, that's the damage for today. Thank you so much for listening, and look forward to your comments below.